Greetings, fellow Earthlings. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of And Another Thing with Dave. I want to thank all of our listeners from all over the world. Please do subscribe and share if you're not already. All right, let's get into it.
I don't know. I'm confused. Where's Hunter?
Hunter. I haven't gotten none of that one. I got some colloidal silver though. I couldn't find the AU or monatomic. They were going to order it, and then something happened, and the store said they couldn't do it, but they were going to do it in the beginning. Then something changed.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of weird if you invest in silver and gold because remember the fucking 20s when they were like, hey, we need your silver and gold because we have a debt-based fucking economy and we have no money, so we're taking yours. But wait,
no, monatomic gold.
My hair turned white. I got scared. Illuminati.
Yeah, I bet.
So we had a friend, wasn't in the military, but his dad was high up in the military, and there was this drink that he would make that was basically liquid silver. I have a feeling there was other stuff in it too, but it would cure anything. He was like, I mean, you have a cold, you have the flu, you have chicken pox, you skinned your knee, you broke your leg. I don't care what happened to you. Drink this, and you'll be better in 2-3 days. I'm like, what? Word? And we've put it to the test a couple times, never for a broken bone, but I don't know. I kind of have this weird feeling that it probably works. Coagulated silver, I believe, is the word we're going for.
You can still order adrenochrome on Alibaba.
Thank you, Mindfox. Well, no, come on, Elvis. Adrenochrome is best harvested fresh. We all know that. But no,
yeah, but you can get powdered adrenochrome on Alibaba.
But that's a ripoff, and it's probably
it gives you the country of origin.
It's probably breast milk that is powdered, and it's pumped from female prisoners and then processed into a powder form. That's all I'm saying. I don't know. I just got to download on that.
Ask Sandra Bullock what she got put in her face on the Ellen show.
Well, bullocks is what she got put in her face.
Yeah, fucking. I wish she had 9mm bullocks.
You know, you can buy an attachment for your TENS unit that actually connects to the penis as a cock ring for sexual stimulation. Don't ask me how I know. I just heard about it.
No, I did not know that, but I need you to send me that information via Instagram. Please Instagram me that, because I'm that kind of freak. And yeah.
And another thing. Let's play Mindfox.
The Nephilim, the giants. It actually I want to say it was, what year, Foxy? 2010-ish?
What?
In Afghanistan, the Giants of Kandahar. It's an episode of Awesome Sauce Radio. Our U.S. military killed a giant in Afghanistan in like 2014.
Well, he killed several of our guys too. He threw a spear. He threw a spear and hit one motherfucker there.
You know the voiceover guy?
Yeah.
He said he was on a mission in Iraq that killed that blew up a Stargate.
I know. But I don't know how. I don't know how much. I don't know how much weight I'd put into that. Not saying he's a liar, but I'm fake Dad Elvis. So you want to believe that? Go ahead.
There you go. Hey now.
Hey now. But somehow gang stalkers still found my house. Those fucking cocksuckers.
Goddamn motherfucker, shit.
Yeah, gang stalkers are a joke. They suck.
They found the giants in Ohio. There's mounds from mound people from the Native Americans that supposedly had killed these giants because they were causing Havoc. Also, I heard that the reason that the Native American would raise their hand and go how and show you their palm is because the Nephilim had 6 fingers or 6 digits on their hand. So they wanted to see that you had 5. I don't know how accurate it is, but yeah.
They just wanted to get your 7 digits. That's what they wanted.
That makes a lot more sense, right? Show me you got 5 digits or I'm fucking slitting your throat.
How can I get you alone? Right, Dave? That's a good one, right?
Totally the biggest one, I think, on the planet. It's in Antarctica, on the South Pole. The pyramids, they all are geographically in sync to create a grid.
Flatter.
And that's what Thoth talks about in the Emerald Tablets. I don't know how deep y'all are getting, but you got me excited. I'm here.
Yeah, dog.
Well, I can tell you what. I have the Emerald Tablets here, and my friend on here, Stoph the Researcher. Look up r.stoph, S-T-O-P-H-E, and follow him on this app. He's amazing, super genius guy. He's fucking a good friend, really good dude, fucking smart, and you will never be bored if you listen to his shit. He's not like me. He's like a real learned dude. You know what I mean?
What are you insinuating, man?
What am I insinuating?
But anyway, speaking of which, dude, Antarctica. So I'm convinced, right, that there is shit. There's 2 miles thick of ice in some places, right? So they've discovered a deep lake underneath all that ice. They're discovering artifacts, like, so.
To find Admiral Byrd's fucking plane.
So I am of the thought that civilization here has peaked and crashed many, 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 many times, right? Due to natural disasters, like an Etch-a-Sketch, and we had to fucking start over, right? Does anybody know algebra? Does anybody know how to build anything? No? Oh, fuck. We're in for a fucking long haul, right?
Yeah, so then, hey, let's send Nikolai over there. He can teach him shit. Take that spiral with you. Okay, cool. Right. I'll teach him all that math and shit. And then he gets here and they're like, no, we don't want to teach our kids to be smart. Look at the Tesla multiplication spiral, and then give that to your kids and let them learn everything about math right now.
Oh my God, are you kidding me? He created a math system?
You don't know the fucking... I know I sent it to you before.
No, Come on, did not.
Yes, I did. I sent you the picture.
Let me apologize. I sound like I talk like I know what I'm talking about, and I don't mean to do that. First of all, let me say I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about, and I can't state it as fact, but that sounded like I was talking fact. My bad.
You're good, dude. You're good.
You're talking shit. We know each other.
We're all talking out of our third asshole.
Yeah. I'm third asshole blind.
That's it. That band sucked.
Yeah.
They didn't suck.
They went to Juilliard.
They didn't suck. They got a fucking record contract when I was coming out of the same city at the same time, and I got fucking dick.
Yeah, but they all graduated from Juilliard, so they were all learned with music. They knew music theory. Couldn't help the singer hold a tune in a fucking bucket, but I guess snorting coke and meth and shit like that will wreck your fucking voice.
Because then he bumped and he bumped and he bumped again.
Yeah, and he fell asleep with his dick inside of her. That's great. This is a good song. Put it on the radio 24/7 for like 2 years.
I met his ex-girlfriend at a bar on Haight Street in San Francisco. Mm-hmm. Super fucking hot, sitting there in like leopard skin pants, and but she was still all tweaked out. She's like, "Want to go back to my house and do a bump?" I'm like, "No, I'll smoke some weed though."
I'll hang out with MC Hammer. We'll do pumps and a bump. Can you hit them comments while I scroll for this Tesla thing here I got here?
I can do it.
Yeah, I figured I could count on you for that shit.
Right, the list of the 200 that is in the book of Enoch, like Azazel and they got them all written down. The ones that taught us alchemy and beautification and Correct.
Oh yeah, brother.
That's what I believe too.
Yep.
Well, you got to be careful though, because those are crafty spirits. I don't believe in ghosts and ghoulies and shit like that. I think it's energy left behind by people who were before us that were could be good or
See,
could be bad. That's why you got to put out the good energy and allow room for the good energy to come flow through.
But I don't believe in like God and the devil, right? But everybody has the potential to be good or evil, right? Every person, every spirit.
Story ever told, and it's been told
right?
a million times. And oh wait, shit.
Exactly. And why? To control us. All right, let's play this next one.
Because they want to separate you from God. Honestly, that's why.
Azazel taught men to make swords and knives and shields and breastplates, and made known to them the metals of the earth and the art of working them, and bracelets and ornaments, and the use of antimony, and the beautifying of the eyelids, and all kinds of costly stones, and all coloring tinctures. And there arose much godlessness, and they committed fornication, and they were led astray and became corrupt in all their ways. Semjaza taught enchantments and root cuttings. Amaros, the resolving of enchantments. Barakijal taught astrology. Kokabel, the constellations. Ezekiel, the knowledge of the clouds. Arakiel, the signs of the earth. Shamsiel, the signs of the sun. And Sariel, the course of the moon. And as men perished, they cried, and their cry went up.
So there we go. So those were the original Nephilim, or the original fallen angels, who gave birth to who knows how many Nephilim, and then those Nephilim gave birth to the giants that were found in all over the earth, right?
Well, I don't know what that guy was reading from, and I don't know what context that was, because you don't always know if you're getting the right story there.
True. I mean, it might be total bullshit, but I'm just believing it, you know.
Well, also a lot of stuff is people always look at shit like how they could look at it today. Free speech didn't exist back then. If you were telling secrets that you weren't supposed to be telling, they would kill you. So these folks had to be very careful of what they said. So a lot of things were allegory and stories. I always point out Humpty Dumpty, not about an egg, right?
That's why, dude, the Bible is apparently 3 stories in one, depending on the depth of your knowledge, right? So to a peasant, exactly. So to a peasant, it means one thing, but if you're in the clique, like if you're a member of the Masons, then you understand it on a whole nother level, because you got this. You can decipher it, right? You got the code. You could break the code.
I can tell you, I was highly involved in that. There was a 7th degree Royal Arch Mason on the York right side.
I want him.
And I was also a postulant Rosicrucian.
I want him.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
No, you don't.
Yeah, I do.
You're for what reasons though? I'm not active. I haven't paid dues.
Ultimate knowledge and world takeover.
No, they're gonna know you're a Cowan right away. Well, to be one, ask one. You find your local lodge and you go and convince them that you deserve to be in there and you want to the crew. You can go do it, but you're just gonna be handing people money for some boring dinners, and then some shit that they're not gonna explain to you. You have to know it going in there. I know people that didn't know what circumambulation was. I said, "Oh, so we circumambulate this thing?" And he's like, "What now?" I'm like, "This highly occultic magic ritual that you're being part of right now. Circumambulation. You don't know what that is?" No, they think the G stands for God. No, it does not.
No.
It could,
No, it doesn't.
but you'll only ever be a 3rd degree Blue Lodge Mason, Master Mason. That's it.
Right, and see, that's the whole thing. Is
went to the York right side because they teach you what certain Bible stories mean and shit, like Solomon's Temple.
The reason I wanted in was for the access to their library, but you're only going to get access to what? How much of it, right?
You get all of it if you want. You just have to go to it. Like you have to get that Mother Lodge in your town.
Because I'm convinced, bro, that they hold the knowledge, like probably from the Library of Alexandria, right?
You'd have to be involved really for a long time, and you'd have to be invited to go past where everyone thinks it ends.
Right.
It doesn't.
You got to be like
it goes
33.
There's no end to knowledge. There's no end to learning. Every day till you die.
But the 33rd degree, the fucking once you've arrived.
But see, if you mention that, you'll never be it. You'll never. If you mention it anywhere near the lodge or to a brother, you'll never get there.
Wow.
That's a strictly invite only thing. And Shriners used to be a high up thing. You had to be a 33rd to be a Shriner back in the day, but now, as long as you're a Master Mason, you can be a Shriner, which tells you that Shriners are not the top dog anymore. It's some shit that nobody knows about. You might as well just study Madame Blavatsky's Theosophy school. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's all the same thing. No, because he's two things at the same time. He's Luciferian doctrine, and he's also some really sick shit. Also, that's just the great I am movement. The only reason they call themselves the Church of Satan is because it'd be shocking, and it keeps Christians away. Yeah, they don't believe in Satan because they don't believe in God. So why would you can't worship Satan, the enemy of God, if you don't believe in God, because you'd be worshiping something you also don't think exists.
It's just magic.
It's symbolism is all it is. You know you know why they demonize the fucking pentacle, not the pentagram. That's what they came up with. It's called the pentacle because it's fucking like that spiral I just sent you. It's math and music and everything all together. And the Wiccans will tell you some bullshit about it. It means the five fucking things: spirit, earth, fire, air. No, it doesn't. That's not what it means at all. It could, but swastika doesn't mean Nazi either, and rainbow doesn't mean gay. So, it's whatever you think it means. But if someone tells you it means something, that person is misleading you on purpose. You have to find out the meaning to everything by yourself. No one's going to tell you. If they tell you, they're lying to you. Guaranteed.
There you go.
The G doesn't stand for great architect. Doesn't stand for God. It doesn't stand for gematria.
No, because you have to denounce Jesus.
No, you don't have to do that. You're not allowed to say the name of your God in a lodge. You can't say Jesus Christ in there. Just like you can't say Muhammad or Buddha or any name of a prophet. And God doesn't have a name. God's a title. So, yeah, you don't talk about politics or religion in a lodge, and you're fine. If you do, they'll ask you to leave, and you might get voted out.
Right.
Like you can't profess your love for Jesus Christ. They'll be like, yeah, you gotta go. You can't serve two masters. Get the fuck out. And they don't worship Lucifer. You can pretend all the stuff you find online or in books with fake handshakes and shit like that. They let that stuff out there, and it's wrong on purpose.
So let's talk about that for a second. Lucifer. So what is that? The bringer of light.
Yes, we're in the year 6021. By the way, it's the year AL. The Annos Lucis something.
The bringer of light. Lucifer was the bringer of light. Light being knowledge.
The light bearer. Or
the light bearer. Meaning,
I don't think it's knowledge. I think it's the awareness of knowledge.
Well, there you go. But either way, it's higher learning. It's growth.
Or it's fire. And Jesus is the water bearer, and water puts out fire.
Right, because
Christ is the water bearer, the age of Aquarius.
Right, but there is no Christ. There is just like this dude Jesus, right?
Well, then there's no Lucifer.
Exactly.
Can't believe in one and not the other, right? So now, it's Lucifer means light. How did they make light back in the day? It was fire, always fire. They didn't have light bulbs.
Coming down, maybe, I don't know, who knows?
So there's fire
coming down.
What extinguishes fire?
From above. Right.
What extinguishes fire? Water. Aquarius. Aqua.
There you go.
Jesus puts out the flames, right?
Right, but flames could just be like something coming down from the heavens. It's going to catch on fire, right? When it breaks through the atmosphere. Yeah.
Yeah. Rain down from heaven like lightning.
or like a meteorite or anything like that,
Well, what brings life to you? Fire or water?
Both, right?
Fire doesn't bring life to you; it brings death to you.
Well,
Fire that
we
rains
but we
down from the heavens is not a good thing. It's always a bad
but
thing.
we wouldn't have life without fire, though, right? That's what I'm
Well,
saying.
who comes in the form of light? The adversary,
Like
right?
like well, see, I don't believe all that shit.
Why not?
I think it's all within us, right? Like I have been good and I've been not so good in my
So if you
life, right?
develop knowledge of evil, what do? You can do that evil, right?
Totally. But if you develop knowledge of good and love and kindness towards all people and animals, you can do that too.
So what's the downfall of man? Is it eating from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, which is what the
AI.
original scriptures say? Or they say the tree of knowledge is what the Catholics tell you, right? Or is it the tree of
Well,
knowledge of good
so
and
the
evil, like
so the
originally?
so tree of knowledge. So now we're in this dichotomy, right? Where maybe it is that simple, right? Because here we're now knowledge led us to AI, but it's not just knowledge; it's greed
That's the knowledge of
that's
good
making.
and evil. If you
Yeah,
learn
but
evil, you do evil. If you
well,
study evil, you'll know evil, and you'll be able to do it easily, and you'll rationalize it in your head. Now,
but
it's the
what
same
about
reason you don't give a toddler a fucking gun because they're going to shoot
right?
somebody
But
with it.
what about AI? What about
We're not
AI?
ready for that knowledge of good and evil. We're still
That's
drinking
what I'm
milk and
saying.
trying to eat fucking steaks. We don't even know how they
That's what I'm
built the fucking
saying.
pyramids, even with our
We
laser
can't
beams
handle
and
it.
our iPhones and shit. We don't know how they did it.
Yeah,
We
we
don't know
can't
why they're
handle it.
tuned perfectly to a different key, each one of them, and they used to illuminate and have water running down
Imagine
them
that.
and aqueducts underneath, and they perfectly aligned with the stars. We don't know how they did that. We can't figure it out.
I think
We're
they
too
were
big
power
for our
plants,
britches.
bro. I think they were power plants for a great city.
It's possible. I don't know. I know they.
It's the
I know
best
they.
explanation I've ever heard is that because they're all aligned on underwater aqueducts like you were talking about. So
What if
they're
it's a plumbing
aligned.
system?
Well, but that water apparently was run up through and then back down and creating negative and positive ions and separating them, and that's why they had all the different kinds of rock with different resonance, right? Because they brought some rocks from 500 miles away. Why?
I heard one was red, one was black, and one was white,
Yeah,
and they had
exactly.
bioluminescence.
Exactly. The red and they're all red granite, black granite, and white granite, and they have different resonances.
Kemet,
So
right?
they resonate at different frequencies. So getting into some Tesla shit here, right?
I heard. Well, vibration is everything. Everything's vibrations.
Yeah.
I heard that.
There you
I
go.
heard some people. People, stop getting hung up on your skin color, please. It's ignorant. Kemet means land of black sands. Doesn't mean land of black people. Because a lot of Egyptians don't look like black people. They just look like people, right? Don't get all caught up on that. That's hatred, and that's meant to divide us. If somebody tells you you're different than those people and you're better than those people, that's your enemy, not your friend. I don't believe I'm
Yeah.
better than anyone. I don't believe I'm worse than anyone. There's people that do bad things, and there's people that do good things. People that say bad
Totally.
things, but also do good things. Don't listen to what they say. Watch what they do. You judge a man by the content of his character, not by what he looks like or what he says. If I call
Damn
Dave a
straight.
dickhead, but then I buy him flowers, am I really a bad guy? Because he's a dickhead. He knows he is. Look at his hat. He looks silly. Right, Dave? He's on a
I
safari.
don't know. Yeah, but I don't really like flowers, so that'd be a total dick move. Be a double dick
Well, they're
move.
flowers. They're non Monsanto. They will actually. They're perennials. They'll come back every year.
And chocolate,
Or
maybe? I
annual.
don't
They're
know.
annuals. All right, I'll send you a little. How about one of those little roses in a glass pipe, and then we'll get some crack cocaine and smoke it. Now we're talking. There's a party. Let's play something.
Okay, so I'm back. What did I miss? Recap. Please recap. Okay, anytime you call me, I'll answer. Maybe. Maybe not. Who
We
knows?
explained
I'll
the
try.
universe.
Love you both. Have a good night.
How about this, Dave?
There's a rewind.
Extraterrestrial means more land, of more land. It doesn't mean out of this world. It means of more land. I'm under the impression that there is no end to the earth. I think there's just land everywhere.
Or a different land.
I believe the ancient texts from the spiritual end of things all describe the earth being built. A foundation was laid. You don't lay a foundation on a moving object, right? And it says everything revolves around it. It's the center. The four corners were laid, right? And they go, oh, well, it's round. Yeah, so's a pizza. Cut it in four. Where are the corners? Right in the center. Under the emerald rainbow, which would be what? Aurora Borealis, right? Over the North Pole. Makes sense, huh? The throne of God with the emerald rainbow. Makes a whole lot of sense, doesn't it? But then you're going to tell me you're standing on the edge of Australia and you say, look, I see the sign of the Southern Cross. Well, you can see that everywhere if you understood what the map really looked like. It's not that fucking hard.
I've seen spaceships.
You haven't seen the picture of the Earth? Not from an artist rendering, or not that wasn't an artist rendering, or a fisheye lens from NASA. The only people that can prove it don't. And the only people that can prove it are Nazis, by the way. Operation Paperclip.
I've seen
it's a real thing. Well, so what? Just because you couldn't identify it doesn't mean. Have you ever seen the TR-3B Black Triangle?
I saw the same one 2 times.
But was it the TR-3B Black Triangle that the U.S. Air Force has that's not a propulsion machine? It moves matter out of the way and gets sucked into the void.
No, it looked like a landing. It looked like a landing capsule, but it was covered in lights, and it didn't make any sound, and it traveled like in any direction.
That's the Black Triangle. They've had that thing for years. You haven't seen that? It's actually you can get the plans online.
It was like egg-shaped.
Like Flight of the Navigator, that Disney movie from back in the day, from the 80s.
I don't remember that.
It was a seamless melt. It's described exactly like how that dude described the one that they found. Well, it's in the basement of Area 51.
This one time I saw it. This one time I saw it.
Exactly like the way they get described.
And there was a jet fighter following it, and then it just left the fighter sitting in the middle of the sky by itself.
It's kind of time travel, what it is. It's not really time travel, it's instantaneous travel. So you don't really, it takes no time to get into the void. Yeah. It just moves shit out of its way. It moves matter out of its way.
And another time, it hovered right over me and my friend, right when we got out of a movie. And I don't know how long it hovered over us. But then, like, something weird happened, right? Because this lady yelled, "Oh my God!" So I wonder if it beamed us up and stopped time for a minute. Who knows?
Well, just because you saw something in the sky doesn't mean it's not ours. They don't tell us everything.
Totally. I was living right next to an Air Force base.
Well, they didn't tell us about the heart attack gun from 1970s until like 5 years ago.
But whatever it was, dude, his trip hovered like 50 feet over my head, and me and my buddy's head, and then just disappeared, just gone.
Well, see, we have that technology. We've had it. You know the skateboard in Back to the Future where he's floating? It's the same idea.
I mean, well, that's like my first guess is that it's our Air Force, right?
Of course it is. If it was flying anywhere near an Air Force base, it was ours for sure. Because we have DEWs that could take it out of the sky in no time.
Right.
Direct energy weapons. That's how they start fires in California.
They tell us what they have 30, 40 years after they got it, right? So imagine what they got now.
If we know about it, it's already on its way out.
Yeah, exactly.
Like cryptocurrency.
No threat technology, right?
25 years at least. Look at all these messages. We got a bunch. Let's play some.
I mean,
hit that shit. What do you say?
I don't know. I mean, it's funny. There was people that feared housing their own gold, like somebody would come and rob them, and the banks were born. And the banks one day said, we have all this gold, and we have data to show that no more than 4 or 5% a year come back and get their gold. So let's make a currency backed buy the gold that we literally don't even own. We're just holding it for people. That's how banking started.
Oh, the Rothschilds. You're talking about the Rothschilds. And then they decided they could loan out 90%, so they only have to have a 10% reserve, right? So if you deposit $100 into the bank can then loan out $1,000. $1,000 but that's fake money, right? Because they only took in 100. So what the fuck?
The 100 that he gave him is fake money too.
Right. Well, but at least that's in the bank. But they can loan out 1,000. That extra 900 is literally just created out of fucking thin air.
That's what buying houses was.
It's called fractional reserve banking.
Yep, it's a debt-based economy solely.
Yep. Totally to make the fucking bankers rich. Banksters rich, and people like us, will eventually be ostracized from society. We'll get shut down. Our voices won't be heard. Because otherwise, we create a ripple that that doesn't work for the banksters.
Well,
right?
they're evil. They're evil. Greed.
Well, they're evil.
The pursuit of money is evil. Money's not evil itself. The pursuit of it is. And these fucking bastards, they have nothing. They got tiny dicks, big long alien-shaped heads, and fat wallets, and that's all they got. They're ugly as fuck.
Yeah, and I'm sorry. Once you got $1 billion and you still got a hard-on to control other people's lives instead of just putting your feet up on your own private Idaho, literally your own private island, whatever. Then fuck you, Bill Gates. Fuck you, all these little dicked fucking lizard people, like you just called out.
Water Island.
We should put up nooses in public squares for people like that.
We used to.
We used to.
We used to, but then the game's on. You know what I mean? Distractions. It's all distractions.
Oh, yeah.
You know who owns Water Island, right?
Hey, Kardashians.
You know what Water Island is? Joe Petto owns Water Island. The potato in chief. It's right next door to Epstein's Island.
Hey, dude, what's his fuck lopped his shit off and is gonna fucking run for governor? Did you hear? Oh wait, no, he didn't lop it off, so he can't run for governor because I guess he's a fake trans. I don't know.
He's a man's trans.
Right.
Well, he did win Woman of the Year.
Oh, fucking Bruce Jenner was on the goddamn fucking Cheerios box, on the Wheaties box when I was a kid. Are you kidding me? Bruce.
He's on the Fruit Loops box now, though. You know that, right?
Oh, now he's on the Fruit Loops box.
Oh,
that was good. That was priceless.
The land of fruits and nuts, and you got more nuts on your fruits than ever before.
Oh, that was priceless, dude. You got to write that down. Write that down, bro. Before you forget,
recorded.
Write that down. I'm going to run
it against me in the court of law.
That was good.
Homogenized adrenochrome.
Hey.
God damn.
We don't want any homogenized adrenochrome.
No, I want mine fresh.
I don't want no Louis Pasteur fucking adrenochrome. I want some real Asian kid in the box.
Exactly. Not even in the box. I want them wiggling around on the altar still.
Why are there so many Renaissance paintings and shit of them guys cutting little kids fucking arteries and shit on their legs and letting them bleed out on a table? Well,
because that's the best royalty. Because that's the best adrenochrome. That's what I'm saying. I want it like that.
But why is it? People think it's fake, But it's why are there paintings for hundreds of years of the guys doing exactly what we're talking about, with rich people sitting in the background waiting for their meal or whatever? And also, Chrome browser is the Google thing, right? Chrome browser. Google's. Google's graphics driver. Google's graphics driver and main chips. It's called Adreno. Crack your phone open and look at it. It says Adreno right on it, and you're looking on the Chrome browser. Adreno Chrome. Occam's razor, buddy. How many more coincidences do we need? You think I'm kidding? Look it up. You can Google that. They're open about it. And watch Surveillance Capitalism from a young lady named Shoshana Zuboff. And you'll go, what the fuck are they doing to us?
Throw it right in their face and make them suck on it.
Well, she exposed all that shit and wrote a book and then did a little documentary. I think it's, if you can't find it on Google anymore, I have it downloaded. I have all of it. Feathered cocaine. I have Out of Shadows. I have everything that you need to know about all that stuff. And take your little sweet ass over to the office of the historian.gov website about the chemtrails. It's called weather manipulation. Cloud seeding is what they call it for
all
agriculture.
about that one. But let's run through some of these messages.
Well, I got 1%. I got to go in the house and charge my fucking phone because I'm still sitting in my car.
Charge your shit up, man.
I might die and go silent for a minute, but I got like 4 or 5 minutes before I can, if I go quiet. But I won't go quietly into the night, you cocksuckers.
Charge it up. Charge it up.
I'm going to go do it.
Howard Stern, that hey now, another thing is a very Howard Stern thing. I used to work for him a long time ago. Anyway, okay, so I'm back in the house now. Sorry, it took me a little longer than I thought. And I'm all ears and listening. So whenever y'all want to have me join in, please do say hello. Or I can call in and ask to be put on with you. You want me to research while I'm sitting there, just go, hey, May, look something up for us, please, and I'll be more than glad to do it.
May, you are on. You are on.
The giants of Kandahar had 6 digits on each toe or on each foot and on each hand. And there were giants found all over the United States, mostly in the regions between Idaho and New Mexico. But there was a lot of remains found in New Mexico too. And it was said that the Smithsonian Institute took in all of these remains and then have just kind of kept them hidden. And that's why you don't see them in museums, because we're not supposed to know they exist.
I couldn't agree more. Mine.
Here's something that's going to get me a crazy monocle. I don't think dinosaurs were real.
There you go. You know?
They put them together wrong, by the way. Those are not real bones that you see in the fucking museums. Those are just they're like molds. They made them from molds, and they put them together wrong. Because Tyrannosaurus arms sort of look like big chicken wings, don't they? They sure
they do. But
they're on backwards.
But they're related. But they're related to birds.
They should be covered in feathers then, huh?
But the new ones are, and they're meaty and delicious.
They sure look like chickens. They look like big ass chickens with teeth. Yeah, they never found a whole dinosaur. They just found bones and they pieced together what they thought would be the other side. Like they found a big bone from this, a big bone from that, and carbon dating is bullshit. It can be like 50 million years off with the science because they found shit.
So you're telling me it's all like Planet of the Apes type shit?
Well, they found shit and they thought, oh, these are 50 million years old. No, they were a few hours old. It's not. It's like a lie detector test. It's fucking bullshit. It doesn't work. They lied to us every step of the way about every fucking thing possible. Why would they tell us the truth about dinosaurs?
Pretty true. Well,
because they want to push a narrative. They're trying to separate man from spirituality and connection with nature, because that's where the answers are. Nature. The Earth was perfect until Bill Gates decided he was smarter than nature and wanted to fuck it all up. And they wanted to be transhumanist.
And every other fucking oil asshole that thought that way too. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Every other person who changed their name from a really German-sounding last name to a slightly less German-sounding last name.
And those people should be looked at as war criminals, committing crimes against humanity, but instead we hold them up on these little altars like, oh, he's the richest man in the world. Yeah, but how did he get there? How did he get there? Wait a minute. What else is going on in the world? Do we want 1 man, 2 men, 3 men to have that much wealth?
And that one guy who has a name that sounds like a Mexican sword fighter guy, he's not Jewish, everybody. He's a fucking Nazi.
Or should we be hanging those people in the town square and distributing their wealth amongst the public?
That's too good for them. I say everybody gets to just line them up. Everybody gets to punch him in the face, and it'll be like a piñata. Whoever kills him with the punch, they get most of his money. As long as they share.
There you go.
And then we can Gaddafi him and shove knives up their fucking asses, because that guy was actually a good leader and the people loved him. He wanted to take the currency from his country off of the U.S. dollar-based value system and put it on his own petroleum dollar system. Can't have that. That's poor and them rich.
Huh? Talking about Libya?
Talking about Gaddafi? Talking about Iraq?
Yeah.
Talking about Afghanistan?
Gaddafi was gonna make Africa rich, but we couldn't have, or we, like the 1%, could not have that, right? So.
Well, no, because the Bush family would lose all their money. They can't just hawk baked beans and fucking and Hollywood tabloid shows. They need their petroleum. It's not enough that they own the opium.
There you go. So that's what we're talking about. Is we're talking about the ultimate
Billy Bush. Billy Bush. Anybody that fell for Billy Bush setting up Trump on the bus, you're a dickhead, by the way. Billy Bush. It's always a Bush involved, isn't it?
Well,
Burning Bush.
But
Billy Bush.
that's what this is all about. Africa was about to get its own comeuppance, and we had to, those 1% assholes.
Black people. The globalists hate black people because black people are very close to nature. Go to the country of origin where brown people with curly hair live. That's every continent, by the way, if you haven't been paying attention. They're all connected with nature a whole lot more than we are. Anybody with Fitzgerald skin?
Yo, in Antarctica is rumored that that's where Hitler fled after World War II. And the legend, I guess, the rumor, I don't know what you call it, is that they found a base already there, and I guess he was integrated in with the aliens that lived there. I don't know, were those the Aryan race? I mean, he wanted to create the Aryan race, blonde-haired, blue-eyed, right? I mean, nobody in that army was blonde-haired or blue-eyed. I mean, come on, man.
There's a good one for you. They call aliens extraterrestrial. I've said this before. Extraterrestrial doesn't mean outer space. It means more land. Like the part of the Earth that we can't go to, the extra part, like the Antarctica, the off-limits area, where the world has the treaty not to go to, and all that. Extraterrestrial. That came from the book of Enoch, the book of the Watchers. Yes, sir. Enoch walked with God and saw the shield and the portals.
Well, you guys have an interesting conversation. Oh, and thank you, Storm and Norman, for the follow. I'm so, taken away and so blown away by that. Thank you so much. You won't regret it. People will tell you that I'm the cream and everybody's cookie, one of the sweetest people on here. I got a brain in my head sometimes when it works. So yeah, it's nice to make connections out here on this show with Elvis and another thing. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. And another thing, let's do that tarot show real soon.
And it came to pass, when the sons of men had increased, that in those days there were And it came to pass, when the sons of men had increased, that in those days there were born to them fair and beautiful daughters. And the angels, the sons of heaven, saw them and desired them. And they said to one another, Come, let us choose for ourselves wives from the children of men, and let us beget for ourselves children. And Shemyaza, who was their leader, said to them, I fear that you may not wish this deed to be done, and that I alone will pay for this great sin. And they all answered him and said,
So here's the list of the names of the fallen angels that came down. I think there's more, but here's a few of them. Check it out.
200, and your glorious throne endures for all the generations of the world, and blessed and praised. You have made everything, and power over everything is yours, and everything is in.
So here's what the gods told Enoch to go tell the fallen angels when they pled with Enoch to go talk to God and negotiate their return.
You righteous man, and scribe of.
Good day to you, gentlemen, but I will leave you with this. There's a calling to do something to unite everybody, right? And I've always been a person who, I've always noticed all the labels, right? Black, white, American, African, Indian, fucking Chinese. There's a lot of reasons to be separate, and people meet people where they are. I want to make a show that's about, sure, wake up the sheeple, but there's so many different breeds.
And from there, I went to the middle of the earth and saw a blessed, well-watered place which had branches which remained alive and sprouted from a tree which had been cut down. And there I saw a holy mountain, and under the mountain, to the east of it, there was water, and it flowed towards the south. And I saw towards the east another mountain, which...
So tell me that Enoch's description of Earth is not flat. Sure sounds flat to me with portals that the stars go through and pass through. Listen to this.
To the ends of the earth, and I saw there large animals, each different from the other, and also birds, which differed in form.
They are. You're right. The dinosaurs, I think, were big birds. I don't think they were reptiles at all.
Oh, I bet there were.
All right, thanks for tuning into another episode and another thing with Dave. Please follow, subscribe, and share. I'm on all social media and Another Thing with Dave. And keep seeking the truth.